A fresh wave of speculation has swept through the MotoGP paddock following reports that Yamaha is seriously evaluating a rider change for the 2026 season, with current factory rider Alex Rins potentially facing the axe. The man tipped as a possible replacement? None other than experienced Australian Jack Miller, who currently races for the satellite Pramac Yamaha outfit. Although Rins remains under contract with the Iwata-based factory for the 2026 campaign, his underwhelming performances this season have cast doubt over his long-term position within the team. Yamaha, a manufacturer with a rich legacy and championship ambitions, is known for its ruthlessness when it comes to rider performance, and this time appears to be no different. There's no hiding the fact that Rins has struggled to adapt to Yamaha's YZR M1 machinery, especially when measured against teammate Fabio Quartararo, who continues to extract more pace and consistency from the same package. The disparity came into sharp focus at the German Grand Prix at Sachsenring, where Rins languished to a disappointing 10th place finish, the last classified rider across the line in the main race. In a brutally honest post-race interview, Rins didn't mince words. "I think this was the hardest day of my career," he admitted. "Even in my rookie year, or coming back from injury, I didn't struggle like I did this weekend." His words reflected not only personal frustration but also a growing sense of urgency as the pressure mounts to justify his place within the team. In contrast, Jack Miller, though also enduring a challenging season, has managed to accumulate more championship points, 52, than Rins, 42, despite a higher number of DNFs. His most recent performance in Germany, where he finished 8th ahead of Rins, has added fuel to the speculation fire. Miller's name being floated as a potential factory Yamaha recruit is not without merit. A seasoned campaigner with stints at Ducati, KTM, and now Yamaha's satellite program, Miller brings a mix of raw speed, racecraft, and fan appeal. While he hasn't found consistent success this season, his aggressive riding style and candid personality continue to make him a compelling figure in the paddock. However, Miller's own future isn't exactly set in stone either. With Toprak Razgatlioglu making an impressive transition from World SBK and Miguel Oliveira showing strong form, the Pramac Yamaha team faces its own tough decisions. Miller may find himself squeezed out of the satellite squad, leaving a factory seat as potentially his only lifeline. From a strategic standpoint, Yamaha's interest in Miller could be viewed as an effort to inject experience and fighting spirit into a team searching for stability. While Quartararo remains the cornerstone of their ambitions, the second rider's role is just as crucial, particularly in terms of team development and constructor points. Yet, critics may question whether replacing one underperforming rider with another who's also struggling is a wise move. Some argue Yamaha's problems are more deeply rooted in the YZR M1's limitations, rather than simply who's riding it. Nonetheless, in the high-stakes world of MotoGP, perception is everything, and both performance and momentum matter, even if marginal. As we edge closer to 2026, the paddock watches with growing curiosity. Yamaha's rider decisions rarely occur in isolation. They often signal a broader direction shift in technical development and team culture. Opting for a seasoned rider like Miller could indicate a desire for experience over youth, or consistency over raw potential, but time will tell whether such a move would pay dividends. Meanwhile, Alex Rins faces a pivotal few months. Whether he can rediscover the form that once made him one of MotoGP's most versatile talents may determine not only his future at Yamaha but his place on the Premier Class grid entirely. For now, the MotoGP world waits. Will Yamaha roll the dice with Jack Miller? Will Rins mount a late-season comeback? Or is there another surprise waiting in the wings? As always in this sport, the only certainty is change, and in Yamaha's case, it might just arrive sooner than expected. What remains clear is that both riders are approaching a crucial crossroads in their respective careers. For Rins, the challenge lies not only in improving his results but also in regaining the confidence that once made him a consistent frontrunner. For Miller, the opportunity to step back into a factory seat could represent one last major chapter in his MotoGP journey, a chance to silence doubters and reassert his value at the top level. Yamaha now faces a delicate balancing act between loyalty, performance, and future planning. With 2026 fast approaching and the competition tightening across the grid, every decision could carry long-term consequences. In a sport where margins are razor-thin and reputations shift in a heartbeat, the coming weeks will be vital. Whether Yamaha chooses to stick or twist, the world of MotoGP will be watching and waiting for the next move in this high-stakes game of speed, strategy, and survival. It's worth noting that Yamaha's current dilemma reflects a wider trend in MotoGP, a landscape where rider contracts are increasingly short-term, and patience from manufacturers is wearing thin. With teams under constant pressure to deliver results and sponsors demanding visibility at the front of the grid, underperformance is no longer tolerated for long. For riders like Rins and Miller, that reality adds an extra layer of pressure as every race becomes a potential audition for their future. If you're passionate about MotoGP and want to stay updated with expert insight, breaking news, and exclusive paddock stories, make sure to subscribe now. Be the first to know about rider moves, race drama, and all the headlines that matter in the world of motorcycle racing.